You're watching the Battered Herons Network.
The Herons are back. Beards, talking balls, rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Battered Fam, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordy, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just buy free 99. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 366 of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Gannett, and alongside me, as always, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
It's raining outside. That sucks.
Yeah, it's been
All
raining
day.
all day. It's been raining. It's going to be like that all week, apparently.
And Mr. Krabs just rains it even more. You think I got to where I'm going by showing up to work at 9:05 to where I am?
Well, okay, but Mr. Krabs, guess what? You get paid for what you do. I'm assuming for your work. We do this without getting paid. So outside of the super slams that some of you guys are nice enough to give us. So suck it, Mr. Krabs.
Suck it.
Go ahead. Yes, because we usually put 9:05. Even though on Twitter I put 9 o'clock, it's usually 9:05, just to give us those 5 minutes of room, just in case we have issues putting our kids to bed or whatever. And I just actually had an issue just pop up right now. So I'm going to leave Chris a second. But 7-point swing, Chris. We just beat Columbus 5-1, and you've had 48 hours to marinate. I'll be listening to your thoughts while I go handle something real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah. Look, with the 7-point swing, if you're asking if I feel better, I do feel better. Columbus is a really, really good team. So the fact that we grounded and pounded on Columbus, that feels really good. A very formidable team. And on top of that, I expected minimum 6 points. You expected a minimum of 7 points. And we got more than what I expected, and we got exactly how much you expected. So I think for anyone to say that we did less than, because I remember you guys in the comments, by the way, in the last video did not disappoint. Absolutely did not disappoint. And we're probably going to talk about that in a little bit. But there was someone that brought up that I want this team to lose. On the contrary, I want this team to win every game if possible. But at the same time, like, I have to be critical about this team. Like, we do a podcast that talks good and bad and decent about the team. So
when it warrants it, though, I felt like you were doing it unwarranted.
No, I don't want to say unwarranted. Look, with the team that we have right now, with the players that we have, the cast that we have, the expectation, unfortunately, is very high. And if you don't meet those expectations and you fall under and you look bad doing so, then it looks bad. No? I mean, very simple terms.
Look, they haven't looked great. That's a given. But like I was saying before the Philadelphia game, they've looked better. The Orlando game, the first half, I thought they looked decent. They couldn't put anything away. I think that 7 points is a positive, moving in the right direction, especially for this time of year. Chris does tend to overreact a little bit sometimes, and I thought that it was I felt like it was an overreaction. I felt like the way that Philadelphia game, I've said it time and time again, the way it ended was great for our psyche. Outside of winning, right? Winning would have been better, but the way they tied away at the Eastern leading Philadelphia Union, I thought that was a good start. We knew Montreal, we should be able to beat them. We did. And then the icing on the cake was Columbus. It was a big 7-point swing because we went from last week, before that Philadelphia game, everybody was predicting us to just not even make the playoffs. So like, some people were going crazy, some of the stuff that I was reading.
Yes.
And 7 points later, and everybody's feeling confident. All of a sudden, with the game in hand, we're a couple points out of the Supporter Shield lead all of a sudden, and everybody's feeling different. So big 7-point swing, and I feel like everybody's feeling a lot more confident now.
No, look, I agree with you, and I imagine that the masses agrees with you too. The majority feels confident. Stepping into this after this 7-point swing absolutely feels amazing. But again, unfortunately, this team has an expectation that's set high by the players and by the team jointly. So when you have expectations that are so high, if you don't meet them and you don't meet them in a bad way, unfortunately, it's just a very bad luck.
But what haven't
It's a
they
very
met?
bad luck.
They didn't win the Champions Cup, granted. But outside of
Okay.
that, they haven't failed anywhere else.
So they didn't win that trophy,
Okay,
right?
but they
They got
haven't failed
knocked out of
anywhere else.
that. They looked poor in a lot of other games after the fact. We went on a really bad drought.
Yeah,
And we lost the teams and tied the teams that we could have beat.
right. But it's a long season.
I
Like, every
understand
team-
that, but
yeah,
like,
every team, they have 3 losses in the regular season so far.
but think about what you said in the beginning of this season. I predict this team doesn't lose more than what, 3 or 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
Just that alone.
But look,
You're
that Dallas
come
game,
on.
that Dallas game should have only 2 losses right now. That Dallas game was an abomination of how that thing fell apart. So I get
But
it.
the same thing you could say about the Philly game. Same thing you could say about other games. I mean, look, it is an abomination. We should have won that Dallas game. That's one of those games that you're going to look back at and you're going to be like, that should have been in the bag.
Yep.
But we didn't. And that's considering that we played pretty well against Dallas. We just pooped the bed. So, and look, Time and Space and me, shout out. I haven't seen this name before. So shout out to you. Thank you for listening. So I think we have the most goals scored in MLS this season right now with 36.
With 36, and that's to add to the fact that we've played 1 less game than just about everybody except for Vancouver, I believe, and New England.
Yeah.
Everybody else, we've played 1 less game than. Yes, goals for 36. Vancouver has 32, but they played 2 less games. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's not. Vancouver has 27.
Yeah.
Well, a lot less than us. But, I mean, that's what happens when you explode for 12 goals in 3 games.
Yeah. It is. It was when you have big games like that. Listen,
No.
I'm happy. I'm happy. At this moment, I'm happy with where the team is at. And it's a good place to be in within this break.
One of the catalysts for this 3-game, 7-point swing was Messi. Now, there was a lot of people going ahead. A lot of people going ahead and saying that Messi had lost a step. Messi was playing poorly. I came on here and I said I didn't think so. I thought that he was the only one still showing some fight, creating for himself and others.
He was very
but how everybody was playing us with a compact defense. Everybody had 2 or 3 men marking on him. It was very difficult. It was until we started playing wide, you're never going to open up space for him. So I felt like people were unfairly saying that he had lost a step or that he wasn't doing enough because the game plan was for everybody. Let's take him out of the game and force somebody else to beat us. And I mean, the coach at some point has to help him out. As he could be Messi times Pelé and Maradona all in one body. And if you have 3 or 4 men marking him all game long, it's going to be very difficult to do anything.
Yes.
So Mascherano finally started playing out wide, started opening up. Players started making runs without the ball. Like things started opening up, and then you could see what Messi has was just the slightest bit of help from the coach and the other players. So I thought Messi has been huge over the last 3 games. He was the catalyst for that comeback against Philadelphia, right? The free kick goal, right? We haven't seen a free kick goal in a while. That was a crucial one. Then the game Montreal. How many goals did he have in the game Montreal? Was it 2? Or was
I think it was. I think he had 3 contributions.
And then against Columbus, 2 goals, 3 assists. One of them being a hockey assist.
Yes.
Like Messi is the focal point. It's obvious, but when you allow other teams to just focus in on him and take him out, other players need to step up. The coach needs to game plan to get him open, give him an opportunity, and it finally started happening recently. And Messi does what Messi does.
Well, and to speak on that, right? Like Soccer Daddy saying Mascherano coach of the week. I don't know if I want to give him coach of the week or anything like that, but whatever Mascherano's been doing recently to be able to open up the space for Messi to play in has worked. Putting Segovia and Ben Kremaki in those areas in the middle to be able to help assist and facilitate and hustle for Messi has opened up.
Does he do that if Bright is healthy?
I would like to think so. I would like to think that he does that. But that's if Mascherano finally decides to put Boosie further up and then keep
Apparently, he's not going to do that though.
Well, but that's the thing. That's so weird, right? Like you're putting the more defensive-minded person up to play in a more creative, space. I think that's wrong. Kind of like what he did with Redondo, where he put Redondo behind Bright, right? It doesn't make any sense. Redondo is the more creative person. If you have Busquets that's closer to Messi, that would make a lot better difference. And then on top of that, like I said, Mascherano's been opening it up to be able to allow Messi to have the space to be able to work around and find players that are making line-breaking runs.
Playing with the double eights, the 2-8s, flanking Busquets, I think is the best way to go, like he did with Busquets and Segovia, because you have box-to-box midfielders that if Busquets were to push up, they could go back and defend for him because they are box-to-box 8s. You saw Kremaki can run his ass off. Segovia, not as much, but he can. And if Bright is filling in one of those 8 roles, he could also defend and go back up. And I like the double 8s. I like them flanking Busquets on each side. My issue is that I don't know if he plays with that formation if Bright isn't injured. So that's my only thing.
Well, that's kind of the key question. And do you think that maybe, I mean, look, J Stubbs is saying, are we better defensively without Alba? And someone had put here, no, I don't think so either. But someone else had put down, a lot of people are thinking that we're better without, without Jordi Alba, I guess. I'm going to have to see here if I can be able to find the question right here. Santiago saying nobody's talking about the fact that the team is playing better without Jordi Alba. I don't want to say that the team is playing better.
He just missed one game.
Yeah, he only missed the game against Columbus. And I mean, we destroyed them. So like we can't just translate that to playing better, just generally speaking. I think that Mascherano planned this game well enough that it opened it up for Messi to be as creative as he can. And you saw the proof is in the pudding. He had as many contributions as we had goals in the game almost. So
now can I go ahead and ruin the Columbus game a little bit for everybody?
Yeah, go ahead. And before you do that, Mike V saying Mascherano is getting very little credit. So go ahead.
Okay, there you go. And that's kind of what I was gonna allude to. Everybody, you look at the comments. Are we better without Jordi Alba and Mascherano? I've heard people saying like, "Oh, can we keep this style of play up?" Because the way we played on Saturday, I love that Mascherano did this. But do we have the players to keep it up? This isn't anything new. Like we said it before, the first time we played Columbus in Cleveland in April. We said it last year. It's been happening now since 2023. Whenever we play against Columbus, Tata started it. Hey, Nancy, you want to hold the ball? We concede possession. Go ahead. We will play the counter.
We'll give it to you.
That's what we've been doing. Since Tata arrived, Messi arrived, that's what we've been doing. And then Tata left, and I'm assuming, right, Busquets and Messi are all really smart guys. And they're like, hey, just so you know, this coach is really good, but we've been pretty much dominating this team. Whenever we play this way, just let them hold possession, and we'll counter.
In the ball, yeah.
And that's what he did. 2 games. He did it against them in Cleveland, even though the second game was drastic, the parking the bus in the second half. And then he did it this week. So everybody that's like, oh, man, like this was just a genius move by Mascherano. Where did he pull this one from? He's becoming such a great coach all of a sudden. I don't want to take complete credit away from him because he decided to change things up. But we've been doing this for 3 years now. We played this way against Columbus, and in the next game, we go back to our regular game. So if you thought that all of a sudden what you saw on Saturday was an indication that, oh, we're back and we're playing the counter and we're playing direct balls vertically, every pass is like, no, that's not what's happening. We've seen it in the past. It works. It works against Columbus because they play that ridiculously high line.
Yes.
But it's not going to work against other teams that don't play like that. Do you really think that if we're playing against a team like, I don't know, who's coming up soon? Cincinnati or, I don't know, Charlotte or any of these teams or LAFC.
Well, MLS-wise, we're going to be playing against
Atlanta next.
Atlanta and Montreal and then New England.
Those teams don't play those high lines. So Mascherano isn't going to play this style of play. Like, we didn't change our way of playing. We don't have to all of a sudden find players that are going to stretch the pitch because, oh, now we're playing the long ball. That's not what we're doing. We did it for 1 game, and if we play Columbus again, we'll probably do it again. But this isn't a change, a permanent change. Like, we're going to go right back to what we were doing before. So, yes, Mascherano gets credit for doing it, I guess. but this is what we've been doing since 2023.
Well, and that's what Mr. Krabs is asking. How did you ruin the game for us? And
Because people
because people are thinking that there's like this magical, like Disney spice.
They're like, oh, at least I've seen it in other places. Like, oh, we're playing direct now. Direct balls, long balls. Allende getting on the other end of the ball. Oh, maybe Fafa will get more time now that we're playing the long ball more, playing more vertical. We're sitting back a little bit, but we're beating people on the counter. Not everybody plays that high line that Columbus does. We're not doing that. That's not our new game. Like, we're not changing the style of play. We're still playing the same exact way. And I don't want to take anything from Kremaki because Kremaki had a good game. But if you're holding possession, Kremaki in the midfield, I don't know if he is the ideal player for that. For the game that we played on Saturday, where everybody's just running back and forth and countering and pressing aggressively, the mid-press and all that. Yeah, he's great. But when we go back to playing our regular style of game, I don't know if he suits that the best. So for everybody that got really hyped after Saturday and expecting like, ooh, we're changing our style of play. Now Kremaski fits perfectly as an 8 and he's going to ball out the rest of the year. And all these other things that I've been hearing, I hope that everybody's right. But don't bet on it because we've seen it before. The Columbus game is just what we do against Columbus, and then everything goes right back to normal. Honestly, the last 2 games, I wouldn't say that it's an indication that we're back. Because Montreal sucks, and Columbus, that high line that we played against and we beat, I mean, it's not something that we're going to see very often because not many teams play that way.
We're back, Tommy. If that's what you're trying to ask, we're back. We're back. Mike V is asking, what's the possession split? We had 51%. We had 51% possession, and Columbus had 49% possession. So that's your possession split for the game. Now, what was it in the beginning of the game before the couple goals? That might be the difference, I think. So, well, and Miami King saying, no, Danny, we changed for low.
For now, I think.
Or for now? Okay. Could be.
No,
I mean, I don't know. I don't think that anything was changed.
I don't think we're
Samurai saying it here. The difference was the counterattack. And now Issei is saying we're going back to depression.
This is a counterattacking league. It's physical, and they run like crazy. That's what this league is. Justin, I see you. I'll give me a second, and I'll put it up in a second. This is a counterattacking league. Like, that's how a lot of the teams play.
Yeah.
That's not our style of play. We could play it against somebody that plays as aggressively a high line as Columbus, but we're not playing that against other teams. We're going to go back to our possession-based game, playing out the back.
You know what's I don't even know, because look, everybody expected us to be a defensive juggernaut this year, especially with all the center backs that we got by the piles, with a center back / CDM / defensively minded player / coach. And we're worse defensively than we were last year. And people thought we were bad last year. And we weren't that bad last year. We were top 5 defensively.
I do like Soccer Daddy's comment.
Yeah, we're back not because of Mascherano, but players' performance. This is perfect. Mascherano didn't do anything. He didn't throw any extra ingredients that made the pot taste better.
Yeah, that I will give you. I think the mental aspect of the game changes quite drastically when you're scoring goals and you're doing well. And that I will give you. Beating a team like Columbus that everybody overrates and thinks is really good. And I'll be granted, I also thought that they were better than they were, but they've been on a really rough run over the last month. I do think that mentally helps a lot.
And you know what I think also helps? Because look, and Samurai's been on one so far. Says for the first time in Miami, did not pause the pressure, and they emphasize on the counterattack. I mean, again, that was this game. But one of the things I think that were key is, if you guys noticed, people were praising Busquets more in the past couple games than they were maybe 4 or 5 games prior. Busquets is key also. He's like the mastermind behind everything.
Miami King saying players change mentality
for the games.
More active, more aggressive, more run. When teams start defending us again and sitting back on us, let's see how we look, because that's what we've been struggling. Ask anybody. Everybody here in the chat, if you've been watching religiously and you've been with us for the whole season, you know we've been struggling when teams play compact and they sit back on us and they beat us on the counter. Look at Minnesota. Do you really think from what you saw on Saturday that we fixed that? No, because we played the complete opposite. Nancy's down 0-0, and he has Farsi and his center backs in our box trying to score goals. Like, he's wild. I think he's he's very hard-headed. Everybody says that he's the best coach in the league, and maybe he is great, but I'm sorry.
Hard-headedness can destroy you.
When you've played against Miami this many times, and we just keep beating you in the same way, at some point, you got to change things up, and he refuses. So, good for us, but I want to see us beat a team that plays us in that manner.
And Vice Rosa is saying Miami needs to keep pressing like a SWAT battering ram. Yeah, I love that too. But like last game, you had the benefit of having Ben Kremashi basically pressure all he can, right? And you're allowing these players to go up and press because Messi and Suarez aren't pressing. So you're not getting it out of them.
I saw Messi. Messi was getting his runs in.
No, he did. But I'm talking about like on a consistent basis, because I think what they're asking for is if we could press a lot more consistently, right? You'll see, jolts of pressure from Messi here and there. Same thing from Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez sometimes jumps out and pressures the center backs and the fullbacks.
Miami keeps saying every team has issues against a low block, but we were totally in bad mentality before last week. Yes, most teams do struggle against a low block, but even not against the low block, we were having issues mid block. We had a hard time just scoring in general. Obviously, Montreal sucks. Philly, I thought we looked decent. That's what gave me hope, because the reason I sound so optimistic. And let me make this very clear, because maybe I didn't preface by saying this. I do feel like this team is taking a step in the right direction, and we're going to be really good the second half of the year, right? Because we're at 16 game mark, right? 17 games is middle of the season, so we're almost there, right? We're 16 games.
Yeah,
I do think we're going to do very well in the second half, but it's because of what I saw leading up to the Columbus game. I was telling you in the San Jose game, I thought we looked really good. We missed Suarez at the other end of those crosses, but Jordi Alba was finally attacking. We were looking good. San Jose. We tied, but we were looking good. Played against Orlando. I know we got our ass kicked, but I saw good things. I came on here and everybody was talking crap to me because they were like, you're delusional. You got your ass kicked. And I know it was frustrating, but I saw some good things. Against Philly, Chris came on here yelling at me because I was crazy. And people were saying that I was soft. I saw good things. And now Montreal and Columbus, I felt like solidified what I've been seeing. Our attack is getting better, but it's not 5 goals better. What we saw against Columbus was an aberration because of that high line we're playing. I want to see 2 or 3 consistently every game against a team that doesn't play such a high line. I do think that it can happen. I do think that it will happen, but I haven't seen yet to the point where I'm like, we're back, baby, because I'm not there yet.
We're back. We're back.
Now, one thing I will say before we get into the Mascherano talk, I don't have any hope for the Club World Cup. One thing I will say though,
any hope
of winning it? No, 0, less than 0. I'm probably at negative, but to winning the whole thing, yeah, absolutely no hope. But one thing I will say, we struggle against the low block, and the teams that we will be playing against aren't the I'm just going to sit back and defend type of teams. Palmeiras ain't going to play like that. Porto's not going to play like that. I don't know anything about the Egyptian team. We'll see if we can get the guest next week to tell us. But I think that we will have space to create for some Messi and Luis Suarez and Busquets magic. And I think that although I don't think we'll win the tournament, for sure not. The games, probably not. But that gives me a little bit of hope that maybe we could do something where we can surprise one team or 2 teams. Yes, I know the tournament, they're not winning. But I'm talking about winning a game, right? So, yeah, those teams aren't playing a low block. So, I think that Messi will have some space if we can get him the ball. Because I promise you, the midfield's going to be quite the challenge, right? Those teams are going to have better midfields than us. Richard Rios for Palmeiras is going to run circles around us. But I think that if we can get the ball to Messi, and Mike V is here saying we're going to make the semifinals. After the group stage, how many teams is in the tournament? After the group stage,
742.
Mike, tell me how many games we have to win before we get to the semifinals. I don't want to look it up right now, but and then I'll see how crazy you are if you could tell me that. But that gives me a little bit of hope that we could maybe like surprise the team and somehow inch out like a crazy victory. But I don't have any hope I don't even have hope from winning more than one game. I'm just hoping to win one game. That's my hope. I hope we could win one game.
Well, I want to bring up a comment here because Mike V said we passed to the runner. We didn't just use them as decoys. Again, I think this is a change in tactics. I don't think it will be like Saturday, but I do think we'll see a change.
We passed to the runner because the runner was running free because they were breaking the back line. They were timing their runs perfectly. Look, you guys are talking football 101, right? Football
101, baby.
Fafa broke that back line with his run, and Messi caught him, and they didn't call offside because it was on our side of the pitch. That's how high of a line that they were playing. That Fafa received that ball on our side, and he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper. You're not going to see anybody playing like that. Like, yes, that was wild how aggressive Columbus plays. That's why we were playing direct, vertical passes all the time, and it was working consistently. You're not going to see many teams that are playing that high of a line.
I want to mention this here. Shadi B is saying Miami will get out of the group. I do feel like we can get out of the group. Okay.
If we could win that first game and mustered out a draw against
it's in the bag. It's in the bag. We're back.
Okay.
We're back. Saga Daddy saying PSG versus IMCF, Group B versus Group A. Imagine that. Noah Allen versus Mbappe.
Mbappe's not
anymore. Versus okay, fine, whatever. And let's not be disrespectful. Seattle Sounders is in that group, okay, guys?
Let me tell you something. I'll put something out here right now. If PSG ends up lining up against Inter Miami somehow, some way in the knockout round, Messi's going for a hat trick. Messi absolutely regrets going to PSG. He hates that team. The team hates him. After they won the championship on Saturday, I forgot one of the players came out and was like, "Hey, when Messi left, he said we would never win a championship." I don't know who it was.
Something. It was like a Brazilian guy. I don't know.
He's like, Messi said that we would never win a UCL, and here we are. I hope he's watching. Messi would shit all over them. I hope we somehow make it out and play against PSG.
Vice Rose is asking Danny, Chris, are you guys going to have a guest for the clubs in the Club World Cup? We're working on it. We're working on trying to get
We have one for Palmeiras already. We think we have one for Porto. We have to confirm, but we think we have one for Porto. We're just working on the Egypt guest. Which
we got a couple in the holster. Okay, guys. So hopefully we'll have somebody.
And Sime is saying PSG is a solid team. They just won the Champions Cup. Absolutely. I'm not saying they're not. But Messi for that game? Oh my God. Do you imagine Messi playing against PSG? Oh, Messi's he'll play his absolute heart out that game.
Listen, I don't know. PSG would shellac Miami. I mean, is it because you guys see PSG win against all the teams in League One, so it's the greatest league ever?
No, it's because they won the biggest club tournament just 2 days ago. That's why. I'm just saying that they technically are the best club in the world right now.
Who cares?
If you go by that.
Whatever. PSG is top 2 team in the world. We're cooked. Really? PSG? Oh my God, they're so great.
It's 89 says follow too many Madrid counts. That was fake. What was fake? No, maybe I said something that was wrong, but I don't know. I don't know what I said.
You follow how many Real Madrid accounts do you follow? 4,768.
That was a fake quote. Oh, what was a fake quote?
It was a fake quote. I think I saw what you saw, and it was a fake quote.
Oh, okay.
He didn't say that. I did see the interview, and it was just a lot of coach speak, like, we deserve, we're here and we earned it, and oh my god, I love PSG, blah blah blah. Oh my god, PSG the greatest. Like, who cares? Who cares? We meet up with PSG. It's a freaking wrap for them. Okay, it's a wrap.
You know what?
Can't wait. You know what? I can't wait until we play against. Book it right now. I can't wait. So that way we can get a PSG podcast guy or girl on the podcast, and then we could tell them how shit their league is. Their team is good because they spend $1 gajillion, but your league is shit. And of course, you look great, and you're shit after you won this fucking, what is this trophy? I got to learn a little bit more about soccer then. UCL, whatever, WCW. Come on, get out of here.
It's the UEFA Champions League.
UEFA.
Well,
how about you win a World Cup, guy? What's this guy? Vitinha? Go win a World Cup, buddy. Who the hell's this guy? I've seen him. He has a good gold card. So he is good. He is good. That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, I know. Look, Rick A, I don't know. I was just saying that Messi was gonna want to win that game. Chris kind of just went off one on his own.
I did.
Yeah.
I should have chilled out. Now I'm definitely gonna get hated on.
So Mascherano. A week ago, he was out. Is he in now?
I think that he's like on a hold right now. Like, I think it's Mike V's for sure got him at Mascherano to be determined at this point.
I still don't trust him. I still think that there's no replacement. So like I said, he's not going anywhere in my opinion because there's nobody to replace him. But
he's in by default because we have no replacement. Like, this is the perfect right here. AZ Rebellion, he's on hold.
But I remember you guys also criticized me when I said, well, he's trying things, right? And you're like, oh, but he's trying. Who cares? It's not working. But he's trying, right? Like, for a while, we were very frustrated. He was, dude, you're not playing the width of the field. And we would criticize a lot of things, but he started changing things. Well, Ian Frey is now starting a lot, right? Yannick Bright is a permanent starter.
Lujan is a permanent starter.
Lujan was the one thing that we kept saying. Why does he keep doing this? But for the most part, look, even if Bright isn't healthy, he finally played with 2 8s, right? He had Mascherano, Kremaki at his natural position. I think that he is learning on the job because, I mean, let's be real. Like, this is his first full-time club job. Yes. And I'm okay with him riding out the season because at this point, I don't think there's a replacement, and he's still learning on the job. And I've seen positive changes over the last couple of weeks. So, look, at this point, unless there is a crazy opportunity to get somebody better, I'm okay with him staying.
I'm going to tell you something. As far as Mascherano is concerned, the whole Lujan thing, he got, I don't want to say lucky, but like he lucked out in terms of not having to make the decision to start him or not because of his injury, because I guarantee you he would have started him. And that would have pissed off a lot of people.
But it wouldn't have changed the outcome of the game.
I don't know about that. Let's not do all that because I think it would have.
No, it wouldn't have.
I think so. Artillery 9 is saying Redondo bench, that's smart. This is a move that I look at from the last game, and I'm like, okay, Mascherano, I see what you're doing now.
What about Ian Frey consistently starting now?
Well, but Ian Frey didn't get the start last game. But he get the start to Wigan.
It was 3 games in 1 week.
Yes, he gave him more play.
And he came in anyway. Before he wasn't even playing at all.
But the thing is, like, remember this whole deal with Wigan and Frey. I feel like it's a little bit easier to look at and say, I understand why you're making the decision of starting one or the other. It's a little bit more debatable. It's more competitive between those two.
Look, Frey is now consistently getting on the pitch, and I'm happy about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And look, and Saga Daddy mentioned Frey played in the midfield,
which I love to see also.
Yes.
For those that weren't aware, before Messi got here, he played center defensive midfielder for a little while for us before Busquets arrived.
Yep.
All right. And in the chat, just Mascherano in, Mascherano out, Mascherano on hold, which I have a feeling a lot of people are going to put Mascherano on hold, but I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I guess that's where I'm at also. But look, at this point, there's no replacement. Just let him ride out the season.
You have no other choice.
He's growing. He's growing. Look, Sanders saying hold. He's growing right now. So we'll see.
And look, Miami King saying, I feel Mascherano didn't intend to do that in the last 3 games. We got hold for AZ Rebellion, out from Sean Callahan.
Still. But for who?
Yes. Soccer Daddy saying in, hold for now. And then Ricky, careful, Pedri might be out here waiting for that. He's out here with a bow and arrow, looking like freaking Hunger Games. My Hunger Games book, by the way, I haven't even finished it.
When the store opens up again, I'm just gonna have a shirt that says "Don't be a Pedri."
Football 101.
No, football 101. Don't be a Pedri. All right. So, on to some other news. And Jack Hart said hold. Saya said in.
I think
Samurai
the majority
said
is hold.
Hold, yeah. I mean, it makes sense, I guess, especially after the last week he had. And then Time and Space said, I hear a certain Tata Martino is available and still living in Miami. I feel like he should have never left, but that's a whole story for another day, I guess.
Imagine him and also Mascherano working together. The offensive coach, defensive coach, like football.
Because Mascherano's proven to be a great defensive mind, right?
I mean, I guess whatever. Like if you just want to have like a character there I like his interviews. He's open to actually speaking to the media and stuff like that.
All right. Brian Rodriguez is that popular name. The 10-day transfer window opened today. We have 10 days to bring on some players for the Club World Cup. Brian Rodriguez, the team just got eliminated by LAFC. He played for Club America on Saturday. So now he is apparently available, and talks are serious about bringing him on there.
And Mr. Krabs is saying, why is Brian Rodriguez a topic? He might go to Spain. AZ Rebellion says Brian Rodriguez talks are advanced. Listen, I don't know if you guys saw, but Solana, shout out to Solana, he ended up putting a video out there of Brian Rodriguez talking to like a media person about the potential of going to Inter Miami. And he spoke pretty openly about it. Like, yeah, he's been communicating with them for the past couple weeks.
And just in case it hasn't been out there, because I thought it had been out there already, but if it hasn't, just so everybody knows, it seems like all that European talk is all smoke and mirrors. Nobody in Europe is interested in him. So he might be just saying that to raise the price on whatever we're going to pay him, because he's apparently there really isn't any interest.
Well, Mr. Krabs saying, didn't Solana say Brian Rodriguez is overrated? He did. Well,
yes, and Solana is. Look, we have Las Garzas at 10 o'clock. Solana's going to be on with us, and he's going to tell you everything he knows about, because obviously he knows a lot about him from when he played for Peñarol or one of those teams, and then for the Uruguayan national team. So he has a lot of insight on him from Uruguay standpoint, right? But I did reach out to somebody we know from LAFC, because
you guys know him too.
Yes, Eric, he does the Section 128 podcast. Brian Rodriguez was signed as a 19-year-old DP from Uruguay, a young DP, over to LAFC in 2019. He signed for 11.
I got that message up for you if you want me to read it.
Yeah, so $11.5 million they bought him for, and he was supposed to be the truth. So we reached out to Eric, and just to get a sense of who he is MLS-wise, MLS standards, how did he play while he was here? What did he think of him? And he responded to us. And Chris, if you want to read the messages that he wrote us, just so to get everybody prepared for Brian Rodriguez.
I got it. And Sanders asking what position does he play?
He's a winger.
He's a winger, and if we sign another freaking winger, I'm just gonna blow my brains out, because like this, Sakawol, come on.
Apparently he's extremely fast though.
I mean, we got a winger that got off the plane injured, played 17 minutes.
Read the message, and I'll tell you what I think.
So, quote unquote, that Brian Rodriguez guy was a DP player for LAFC. He was a what is that? The young DP, a young designated player. Let's see here. He is a physical specimen. He has an insane muscle twitch, fast, strong, great dribbler. He will beat 3 guys dribbling and then blast the ball 10 feet over the crossbar. Mentally, very childish and a prima donna. He demanded to get traded from LAFC at one point, so we loaned him to Almeria in the Spanish second division. Within a month, he was pretty much a reserve. And then at one point, he got into a shoving argument with their captain over who got to take a free kick. They sent him packing back to LAFC. He played pretty well, but kept talking about how he wanted to go back to Peñarol. We paid $11 million for him in 2019. Sold him to America in 2022 for $6 million plus 20% sell on. Basically, the guy is a massive disappointment for us. He's one of those guys that you're super excited for his potential physically. He could play on a Champions League side. Mentally, he just doesn't have it. Super frustrating player to have on your team because for the life of you, you will not be able to figure out why he is not an absolute stud.
Yes, and somebody took the words right out of my mouth. Where was it? Yes, there it is. Because that's exactly what I was thinking when I read that message when he sent it to us earlier today.
Emerson.
He is extremely fast, a good dribbler, can get himself into position to take a shot, but just can't seem to score. And I reached out. I don't know Nick personally, so I reached out to Will from MLS Moves because he knows Nick, another person that covers LAFC. And I asked him, have you talked to Nick about this guy? He said, yes, actually I have. And he told me the same. He's one of the most frustrating players you will ever watch. Your fans will start to hate him quickly because of the mistakes that he makes and constantly shooting the ball over the bar. Now, this must be like a
Mota.
There you go. A Mota thing because they both said the same thing. Constantly kicking the ball, too much power over the bar. Now, I wish. Do we have any? We've spoken to Club America guests. We should have reached out to one of them.
Yes.
But
yes.
Maybe we will for the next show. But that is the 411 on Brian Rodriguez. The 2 LAFC people that we've heard from both say gonna be frustrating, very fast. Eric did say when I was talking to him earlier. Eric said, I don't know everybody on your team, but I promise you, if Brian Rodriguez goes, he will automatically be the fastest player on your team. So everybody believes he is strong and extremely fast, but can't finish. He is probably a combination of Emerson and Ariel Lassiter. Ariel Lassiter.
Or we could just lump him together and be Lassiter.
Yeah, Lassiter, Emerson, and Mota all bolt up in one. You got
that's not a bad player though. It's not a bad player.
The speed of Emerson, the ball skills of Lassiter, and then the kicking power of Mota, all bolt up in one, and that is Brian Rodriguez. So that is the crap that is coming to Inter Miami apparently. Why he's gonna be the one that we bring it? Like I don't know if it's happening, but that is what's being said about him. And
Ricky says, no, Ariel Lassiter. No, I'm out. No, God, please don't. Listen, Emerson, Lassiter, and Mota, you ball them up. That's not a bad player. It's not the best. Only 6 likes, Danny and Chris. Pause for 30 seconds and let the chat like the video. Shout out to Shady B. Guys, what are we doing here? Francisco, shout out to you also. Hit the like button. It's free. Just right there. It's on like the bottom left right there under the video screen. Come on,
now,
guys.
Do you think we need a winger? How
about Matias Rojas kicking power? Shout out to Walter. Welcome back.
But with some accuracy though. That's why we said Mota. Oh man, I just blanked what I was gonna say. Oh, do we need a winger? Man. Because everybody was really happy with the lineup from Saturday, right? Oh, we're playing with 2 8s, which I think is a great idea. I've been asking to play with 2 8s. Playing with 2 8s, Messi behind the 2 forwards. I think that's great. But if you play that style of game, you don't really use the wingers as much, right? You're not playing with wings. You're playing with 2 forwards. You got Messi So do we really need a speedy Brian Rodriguez when we have a Baltasar Rodriguez that maybe will play 17 minutes again at some point? When we have a Fafa Picolt that could come on as a super sub and make a difference. Like, I don't know if this is what we should be looking at. We should be looking at a legit backup striker because apparently Obando isn't it because they don't give him any chances. And we should be looking at a goalkeeper. Like, yeah, I know the whole Rocco thing is cute. Yes, I know the whole Rocco thing is cute. But if Ustadi really goes down with an injury and Calendar is out, I'm sorry. I don't feel good with Rocco being our keeper.
I mean, listen, Rocco came into the game and locked it down.
And also a defender. Yes, thank you. Somebody said it. Francisco said it. Martinez is leaving. So we need another center back because Dario Martinez, unless they extend him, his contract ends over the summer. So everybody's like, oh, Dario Martinez look great. Oh, I'm so happy with Dario Martinez. Well, Dario Martinez is gone. And that
molested her son.
I was trying to think that up. Thank you, Mike V. I was trying to think that up in my head, and I wasn't able to.
That's why the chat is amazing.
Yes. Shout out to Mike V. I appreciate that because I literally was trying to think of how to combine all three names together.
Upcode is saying here, Upcode is giving us some extra intel. In the 2024-2025 season, Brian Rodriguez has played 24 matches for Club America and Liga MX, scoring 8 goals and assisting 6 times. I don't know how accurate this is, and I don't know how many games they play, but this sounds decent.
No,
but guess what? Guess what, Upcode? He doesn't have a FIFA card.
Well, I've avoided purposely talking to Solana. All I heard was what he wrote in the Discord. He said he's overrated. I've avoided talking to Solana purposely so that I could hear it for the first time on the show. 10 o'clock, Las Garzas. He's going to be on with us and Xavier Lavos and hear from him what he thinks of Brian Rodriguez. Like I said, he is Uruguay through and through. He follows the national team and all the clubs. So I am very interested in what Solana has to say about Brian Rodriguez.
And you mentioned David Martinez, and that goes right into health because he just came back from an injury, and now he's filling the void for a bunch of center backs that ended up getting injured. So, like, health-wise, at this moment, we're not in the greatest place. I don't know what you think, but we're not.
I think that I like this one a lot better. Lassi Motasen.
That is a good one.
I gotta write that down somewhere.
You know what you should do, and then create a shirt with Lassiter, Mota, and Emerson like merged into one cartoon character.
Nobody's gonna buy that. Lassi Motasen though. I'm gonna if we Mortesa, that one's
Mota, sir. That's good.
Lassi Motasen, I think, is my favorite.
Yeah.
So health wise,
it's not good.
We don't have a backup keeper. If Luis Suarez goes down, we don't have a striker because apparently Obando isn't that guy.
Well, apparently Mascherano doesn't even know the guy exists.
No. Center back, we're thin. We're thin. Health-wise, I think these 2 weeks came at the perfect time because we get 2 weeks off, and then we play those 3 Club World Cup games, but then we get rock and rolling right after because I think when we play Atlanta, we play like 3 games, like one after the other.
Yes, and luckily, Toto Aviles is the kind of guy that you could tell he'll play through anything. He looks like he'll get injured. He's like, I still want to play the whole game. So he has like a ton of heart. And Upcode is saying we need a striker. Yes, we do. I mean, Walter's tossing a good idea. Play Fafa at 9, but like Fafa Allende, you could do that. But then, like, what was the whole purpose of Obando? Like, that infuriates me. People like Lujan, people like Obando, who we brought on here to serve some sort of like a bigger purpose, and they're completely either not serving it or out-serving it in the case of Lujan. So, Upcode is saying we need a striker or a winger.
If we're gonna play with wingers, I think I agree. We need a winger, but if we're gonna play that 8-8, I'm okay with what we got right now.
But we have a bunch of wingers, Danny. Like David Ruiz is just coming back.
He's not a winger.
They could put him at the wing. They put him at the wing. He got injured as a winger.
No, I wouldn't put David Ruiz there. We have Fafa. We have Baltasar Rodriguez apparently. and that's it. Oh, and Tadej Allende.
I feel like this guy is a Baltasar Rodriguez. This guy, Brian. So we're gonna have two B Rodriguezes on this team that look the same because they both look very similar.
Yeah, they do.
They're literal clones.
So health-wise, I still think we're thin in certain places. I don't know when Calendar's coming back. Baltasar Rodriguez, are we ever gonna see him again?
Never. That guy's on the Coco. He's on the Coco Jean deal.
Yeah. So, but I think that this break came at the perfect time. And look, we start up against Atlanta on the 28th, and if somehow we get out of the group stage, that Atlanta game is going to get rescheduled.
What does this even mean, Danny? Hernan Code is saying William Yarbrough is our third goalie. Is it possible that Yarborough's our better backup goalie, but because he hasn't played with us, he's the third stringer?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. I think he's the third goalie no matter what, because when Drake comes back, Yarbrough will still be the third goalie, and then Rocco will just move down.
You think Rocco would jump all the way down 4 spaces?
Yeah. He's an MLS 2 guy. He's not playing with Inter Miami when Drake comes back. At least I don't think so.
Yeah, I guess.
17 minutes at a time.
Sports hernia surgery, supposedly 6 to 12 weeks from date of surgery, according to Dennis Lopez.
When was that? He got that surgery like last month, right?
This is like, no, not last month, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
That's it. All right, let's finish up with expectations. All right, Chris. After the last week, you said you had no hope for anything. So we are here.
I like this
one. A week later, I like 7 points later, and Lassi Motasin possibly coming in. What are your thoughts? Do you think that our expectations have changed, or do you still think, oh, multiple trophies are still possible? I no longer think we're cooked. Like, where are we at? And I asked the chat the same thing. What are your expectations? Is it still just MLS Cup? Is it MLS Cup plus other things? Are we cooked and we're not going to get anything? This is true.
I mean, I do tend to exaggerate a little bit, Stancy. It's a bad trait of mine, and I'm never going to get rid of it. So I'm sorry, just ahead of time. I don't think that we're cooked. I think that this upward trend that we're on, and the fact that we played a good team after Montreal, right, and we performed well, I think that helps. I do still believe that we need trophies, plural. Like, at this point, we do need the Leagues Cup. Like, if we win MLS Cup only, will I be happy? Yes. But Leagues Cup is for sure part of the double package. MLS Cup only, yes. I believe everybody will be happy with MLS Cup only. But I do feel like the expectations are still trophies. So, I don't know. I mean, am I wrong for saying that, Danny? Like, Club World Cup, forget about it. Like, nobody's expecting us to walk away with that. So, and that leaves us with 3 left. Leagues Cup, which we've already had. Supporters Shield, which we've already had. And the MLS Cup. That's the problem. We have 2 out of the 3 that we've already had in our past. So, like, nobody really cares about that.
Do you think that the fans are going to care or want Leagues Cup this year? Because last year, I was like, oh, let's just not win. Let's just purposely lose or throw the games and rest everybody so we can just get extra rest. This year, do you think that fans are going to be like, you know what, let's try to go for it?
You know what? That's a good question. And I'm going to respond to you with a question.
And before you do, chat, just yes or no. Do you care about the Leagues Cup winning it, or do you not give a crap? Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, yes or no. But now my question back to you is, if we do perform and if we play the Leagues Cup, okay, and we lose and get knocked out of the Leagues Cup, would you feel better? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, if we go into the Leagues Cup and we get knocked out, like in a bad way, you're not going to feel better on your way to the last trophy of the season. So, like, that's the thing. Like, it all depends on how we lose in the League's Cup. Like, if we lose and it's close and we just...
If we lose, what if we lose like we lost last year? Against Columbus. We were winning 2-0. Should have had that third goal. All of a sudden, they have a crazy comeback. We get eliminated.
I think that's stingy. That's a little stingy. Losing like that.
But do you care about the League's Cup? I guess is ultimately the question.
I do,
a lot of people are saying no.
I do, because I think that's the trophy that matters more than, like, you feel better. You feel better about the League's Cup than you do the Supporters' Shield.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So, like, why would I want the Supporters' Shield again? Like, why would I want to be the best in the league and then still fall short for the championship?
No. I just want the Supporters' Shield so I get home field advantage. I don't give a crap about that trophy.
Yes, but the trophy itself, I want the League's Cup one versus Supporters' Shield. If I had to go with 2 of the 3, I'd say League's Cup, MLS Cup. If I'm not getting League's Cup, then just focus on the MLS Cup. Lose in the first round. I mean, obviously they're competitors. They're not going to lose on purpose. But don't give me hope. Don't go all the way to the finals or the semifinals and then get, lose in a bad fashion.
This is a good point though right here. Remember that there's a new format. And all the games are up until like the semifinal or the quarterfinal are against Mexican teams.
Well, it's the crazy part of, yeah.
So although that all the games are still being played in the United States, I still think that ups the ante a bit, because that year that we won the League's Cup with Messi when he first got here, we beat Cruz Azul that first game, and that was it. We didn't play any other Mexican teams the entire tournament. I do believe that the League's Cup this year, we were saying it just like a half hour ago. Mentality in sports, big part of the game that people don't talk about. And I think if you win a trophy, especially a trophy like this one where I understand you're playing in the United States and you're not playing in Mexico. I get that. But if you win beating a bunch of Mexican teams on the way to the League's Cup title and you win a trophy, I feel like that mentally, it's like, all right, let's get going. We won one trophy, but we want the next one. And for the players, especially the big names like Messi and all these guys, I feel like, all right, we're here, we're rolling, and I feel like that keeps them going. So if anything, I want the League's Cup just as a momentum towards the end of the season, because you win it at the end of August, and then you got September, half of October, and it's the playoff start. I think that would be a great boost to everybody's mentality going into the end of the season.
Well, you walk away proving that you're the best team in North America.
Cruz Azul is.
But I'm talking about like in that tournament. You play that tournament. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but you walk away feeling like we are the champions of North America right now.
I understand what you're saying, but I just think that it would be a great boost to win that trophy and kind of just keep going. And Sime is saying Arsenal did pretty much the same thing, ignoring all the trophies, only to bottle it. Yeah, because they ended up choking the league away to Liverpool. And Mike V saying Lassi Motasin is the key to all cups.
That's a good one, Lassi Motasin. That's a good one, man. Because that's clear in every Lassi Motasin. That's perfect.
Yeah. All right.
And Sean saying the CCC outweighs the Plastic League's Cup, Chris. So yes,
Absolutely.
Cruz Azul destroyed Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
So
you think they would have destroyed us?
Cruz Azul is a problem that game.
I already was hoping that we would play them in the final, man. And they made it too. It sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I thought we would have won, but even though the game would have been at home.
Yes, would have been nice.
Right.
Well, my final thoughts, Danny. I'm good with where we're at right now, especially before this break. I think that we got to this break in the way that we did in perfect form, I guess, realistically, related. Looking back at what we went through, I'm happy where we're sitting right now. So I have positive hopes for the future, for sure.
So to conclude our State of the Union or State of the Herons, we are feeling good.
We're back.
Many for different reasons. People are really taking that Columbus game and running with it. For me, it's not so much the Columbus game, but rather the last few games. I felt like things were looking better, And I feel like the Columbus was the icing on top, even though I don't think they're going to keep playing that way. I still take it as a positive. And we're going into the Club World Cup in the best possible situation. We're going to sign an overrated Uruguayan, which Solana's going to tell us about on Las Garzas in about, we'll probably be on there in 5 minutes talking in Espanol. Yes, it's a different channel, though, so go to Las Garzas, the channel on YouTube. And I feel like we still have hope, right? We're not cooked. Yeah. MLS Cup is still a possibility. It was always a possibility. Everybody's overreacting. We only have 3 losses in the season. It's still a possibility. And I think that Leagues Cup, although it's something we already won and it's not that great, I still think that it would be a great positive heading into the end of the season. So those are the final thoughts. Yeah, State of the Herons. We are feeling good. All right. If you're listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, other good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And as always, for those of you in the chat, appreciate you guys hanging out with us for the last hour exactly. And we will be back in a couple of minutes on Las Garzas.
And Ricky, before we go with a super slam here, the break is very dangerous. You lose momentum, players playing in their country, teams getting injured. I'm worried.
It's not a huge break. It's only 2 weeks. It's like having a bye week, which some teams have, or international break, right? So we're just taking next weekend off. And then the following week, we're right back at it, getting our ass kicked 3 times by teams from around the world. And then we go ahead and we start playing against Atlanta.
We're going to come out of that.
But okay, look, I love the positivity. And I think that there's a chance, but that first game is key. But regardless, we'll be talking about that. We'll be back on Thursday. We're going to be doing grades. Just like last year, middle of the season, we were grading all the players' performances up until now. We had Calypso join us last time, and he gave Cello an A. I remember everybody was up in arms about that. So we'll see what we do, but that should be a fun episode. So we'll be back on Thursday giving our grades for the first half of the season. So make sure that you tune in for that on Thursday. But with this one is done, State of the Herons, we are back, baby. And we'll be back with Las Garzas in a couple of minutes. So until the next one, have a good one.